This is Nightline and I'm Liyana Hassanel. The headlines. Flood situation worsens in Kelantan. Number of evacuees surpasses 17,000 people. And NGO patron with Datuk title among 10 arrested in special op in Sabah. Good morning. A 28-year-old technician lost his life while conducting maintenance work on a lift in a tragic incident that occurred at a shopping complex in Jalan Burmah, Georgetown, Pulau Pinang on Tuesday. The victim, Artinesh Kumar, suffered severe head injuries when his head got trapped between the doors of the lift. A spokesman for the Fire and Rescue Department's Operations Center in Pulau Pinang said it received an emergency call at 4:45 p.m. Upon arrival, firemen discovered two lift maintenance workers trapped in the lift. Tinesh Kumar was found unconscious with his head stuck between the doors, while the other victim, a 53-year-old man, was reportedly safe. After being confirmed dead by a medical team at the scene, Tinesh Kumar's body was sent to the Pulau Pinang Hospital for post-mortem. The floods, which hit 8 districts in Kelantan, worsened after more than 17,000 people were evacuated from their homes as of 10 p.m. on Tuesday. This compared to 15,216 people in the afternoon. All the flood evacuees are currently seeking shelter at 86 temporary relief centres in Pasir Mas, Kuala Krai, Tanah Merah, Machang, Pasir Puteh, Kota Baru, Gua Musang and Jeli. According to the Welfare Department's Bencana Banjir portal, Pasir Mas has the highest number of flood evacuees at 12,791 people, who were relocated to 33 relief centres. In Terengganu, the number of flood evacuees dropped slightly to 9,915 people compared to 10,103 people earlier in the day. As of 10 p.m., the flood evacuees were housed at 111 temporary relief centres statewide. In Pahang, the number of victims decreased to 333 from 500 people earlier on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the body of another victim in a drowning incident in Kampung Petai Dusun, Baroh Pial, Rantau Panjang over the weekend has been found on Tuesday. Pasir Mas District Police Chief Superintendent Nik Aminuddin Raja Abdullah said the body of Nur Damia Kaisara Muhammad Sabri, aged 11, was discovered at about 7 a.m., about 2 kilometers from the location where she and her friend were reported to have fallen. The girl's body was found by members of the public and has been taken to the Pasir Mas Hospital for post-mortem. In the incident, at about 6:39 p.m. on Sunday, Nur Damia Kaisara and her friend Siti Asha Mazi, both aged 11, were playing in flood waters before they slipped and were swept away by the current. Siti Asha was rescued by the public but was later pronounced dead while being treated at Tanah Merah Hospital on the same day. Now, the Fire and Rescue Department has prepared 3 helicopters to assist in evacuating flood victims in the East Coast. Its Director General, Datuk Sri Abdul Wahab Mat Yassin, said that 1 helicopter has arrived in Bachok, Kelantan, while the other 2 are on standby and will be mobilised to Terengganu if the situation requires it.
Hari ini juga kita telah pun menghantar pesawat udara ke Kelantan bagi membolehkan tugasan operasi menyelamat dan juga pengantaran makanan serta tinjauan udara lah dilaksanakan di sebelah pantai timur ini.
Speaking to reporters at an appreciation event organised by Pertubuhan Amal Uncle Kentang Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday, Abdul Wahab said that the JBPM will also work with the Health Ministry to help transport flood victims in need of treatment to hospitals using its air assets. He added although the number of JBPM personnel will not be increased, additional assets, including trucks and boats, have been sent to the affected areas. Abdul Wahab also said the department is currently focusing on Kelantan, Terengganu and Pahang due to the severe flooding in these states. He also advised the residents to immediately evacuate to flood relief centres if required to do so.
Fail Mahkamah merungkai kes-kes tergempar Malaysia. Laporan, siasatan serta prosiding kes yang telah dibicara ke muka pengadilan. Rangkuman kes-kes berprofil tinggi yang telah dipaparkan dalam fail mahkamah sepanjang 2023.
Police have smashed Sabah's biggest drug syndicate with the arrest of 10 men, including the ringleader, who is also the patron of a non-governmental organisation, NGO, with a Datuk title. Deputy Inspector General of Police, Datuk Sri Ayub Khan Maidan Pitche, said all the suspects aged between 36 and 48 were nabbed under a special operation in the state on Monday. According to Ayub Khan, the operation involving the Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department and the Eastern Sabah Security Command, ESCOM, saw several raids carried out simultaneously at 2:30 a.m. around Kota Kinabalu and the east coast of Sabah, including Tawau and Semporna.
Kita telah mengesan ahli syndicate ini memiliki pelbagai aset seperti kenderaan-kenderaan mewah, banglo, 12 syarikat perniagaan dalam bidang pelancongan, pembinaan petrokimia, oil and gas serta pembuatan, dan mereka juga mempunyai sebuah ferry dan juga memiliki rangkaian restoran di Sabah. Dan ketua sindiket ini dikesan memainkan peranan sebagai penaung badan bukan kerajaan NGO yang bagi melindungi aktiviti haramnya.
Speaking at a media conference in Bukit Aman on Tuesday, Ayub Khan added that the 40-year-old Datuk, who is also a businessman, had a prior arrest and subsequently charged under the Dangerous Drugs Act. The 9 other suspects include an enforcement officer who acted as a transporter and a restaurant chain managing director who was in charge of the syndicate's finances. The syndicate was believed to have been active in trafficking shabu since 2015 and has international and local distribution network. The syndicate, which obtained its drug supplies from neighboring countries, would smuggle them to markets throughout Sabah, the Philippines and Indonesia, using drug mules via commercial airlines and sea cargo shipments. No drugs were seized in the operation, and police investigations are still ongoing, including efforts to seize proceeds from illegal activities owned by the syndicate members. At the same time, the police are also investigating the involvement of the syndicate for the smuggling of contrabands and subsidized items to Indonesia and the Philippines. Meanwhile, Ayub Khan revealed that this is the first time the Security Offences, Special Measures Act or SOSMA is being used to foil a drug smuggling ring, instead of the usual Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act to investigate drug trafficking cases.
Yang banyak kita tangkap adalah pengguna-pengguna dadah yang daripada bawah tu yang ke atas. Ketua-ketua sindiket ini memang sukar untuk kita mengambil tindakan sebab sebenarnya yang kita sedia maklum bagi kes-kes 39B ini pembuktiannya terlalu tinggi dari segi pemilikan, pengetahuan, kawalan dan juga jagaan. Ini yang sukar untuk dibuktikan di mahkamah. Di samping itu ketua-ketua sindiket dadah ni mereka tidak terlibat secara langsung dengan aktiviti pengedaran dadah. Jadi untuk kita membuktikan peranan mereka dalam ini memang sukar.
He admitted that although the country has enforced strict laws to combat drugs for the past 40 years, they are still ineffective to fully curb the problem. Therefore, he said police decided to use SOSMA to enable authorities to comprehensively investigate drug syndicates. He added the case relating to Sabah's largest drug syndicate to date is also being investigated under the Penal Code for Organised Crime, as well as the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act. On another matter, Ayub Khan said the remand order against 3 policemen under suspicion of stealing 85,000 ringgit from a premise during the Mini Dhaka raid has been extended to Friday. He also stressed that the police would investigate the matter thoroughly.
Kita buat serbuan tu pada 21 hari bulan, hari Khamis. Dan pada petang tu kita dah dapat maklumat pengadu daripada pemilik yang mengatakan ada insiden melibatkan 3 anggotanya. Dan kita buat siasatan sekedulan, kita tangkap pada hari Jumaat. So tidak ada isu pun yang kita nak melindungi anggota kita ke pegawai kita seperti mana yang ditegaskan oleh Tan Sri IGP, kita tidak akan bertolak ansur.
Despite the arrests of the trio, RM10 said it will not deter the police from launching more operations against hotspots for foreigners. On Sunday, it was reported that 3 policemen involved in Thursday's large-scale operation in Jalan Silang were arrested for robbing a shop lot in the area. The 3 police personnel aged between 26 to 35 years old were initially remanded from December 23rd till December 26th.
Hipokrasi terus dimanifestasi. Transisi, revolusi, integriti. Episod tragis dan emosi. Memacu matlamat, mengukir legasi. Impasan 2023, Sabtu 30 Disember, hanya di TV3. Dan stream HD secara langsung ditonton.
Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Syed has called for an immediate investigation into the recruitment agent which allegedly duped a group of migrant workers by promising them jobs that were not available. The minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform said this in response to media reports on Monday over the arrest of 171 Bangladeshi men who were seen marching in a large group in Pengerang, Johor, as captured in a recent video that went viral on social media. According to Azalina, the companies involved should be investigated to determine whether the legitimate migrant workers were exploited and enticed with promises of work in Malaysia. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Tuesday, the Pengerang MP described the incident in her constituency as only the tip of the iceberg, stressing any violations of human rights, including in the business sector, must not be tolerated. She added that the time has come to take firm action against irresponsible businesses who exploited migrant workers in the country. At the same time, Azalina also commended Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim for extending assistance to the deluded migrant workers, despite their detention was outside the ministry's jurisdiction. On Monday, Sim reportedly said his ministry would also summon the employers mentioned in the foreigners' document and the recruitment agencies involved to assist investigations on the matter later this week. Meanwhile, Johor Police Chief Datuk Kamaruzaman Mamat said authorities have identified the recruitment agent that allegedly duped the migrant workers with non-existent job offers. He said that based on initial investigation, all of the foreign nationals were registered under a company with an address in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. He added that the company in question, however, was found to provide dormitory accommodation for workers in Kota Tinggi, Johor, to temporarily house these Bangladeshi workers as a preparation before being provided suitable employment. The case has been handed over to the Johor Immigration Department for further action under the Immigration Act. He added police would continue to assist the Immigration Department as required. Policemen have also been stationed to monitor the situation at the workers' dormitory located in Kota Tinggi to prevent any untoward incident. In the 1 minute and 33-second viral video, a car driver was shocked to encounter a large group of foreign men walking in a long line in the Bayu Damai area in Teluk Ramunia, which sparked concerns among the public over the overwhelming presence of foreign nationals. Suspect arrested over gruesome Christmas Day murder. News from the foreign front when we return.
Karnival Jom Heboh 2024 akan ke Kuching, Sarawak. Peluang terbaik untuk kembangkan jenama, promosi dan bisnes anda dengan pelbagai aktiviti menarik. Hubungi kami sekarang di maklumat tertera untuk menyertai. Jom, jom, jom!
menarik minggu ini di MHI.
Tragedi tanah runtuh di Puchong, kita dekati mangsa bersempena Christmas.
Kes COVID-19 semakin meningkat. Waspada jangan leka demi keselamatan diri.
Eksploitasi kanak-kanak, ada ibu bapa yang menggunakan wang anak-anak, boleh ke?
Fahami dengan jelas Akta 302 Kanun Kesihatan.
Nantikan juga rangkuman peristiwa sepanjang tahun 2023.
MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 9.30 pagi di TV3.
Dan stream secara HD ditonton.
Tutup tahun 2023 korang dengan 3 filem ni. Let's go guys! Yes! Kita bagi aksi yang memang gempak gila.
I'm a Green Hornet.
You are girl.
Just relax, breathe.
Macam, layan semuanya di Magnificent 8 TV3 atau stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
The foreign front. The Zionist regime's shell fire slammed into central Gaza on Tuesday after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged no respite in attacks on Hamas, as residents of the coastal enclave mourned more dead. According to Gaza's health ministry, 241 people were killed and 382 injured in the past 24 hours, as the regime's air force hit 100 targets in the south of the Gaza Strip. Bureij and Maghazi refugee camps were targeted, as well as the city of Deir al-Balah, killing dozens of civilians. Netanyahu earlier arrogantly stressed that war will not stop and he's ready to encourage Palestinians in Gaza to leave the enclave. He added that Israel is determined to pursue its goal of destroying Hamas despite global calls for a ceasefire in the 11-week-old war. Amid concerns the conflict could spread with the United States and Iran-aligned forces attacking each other elsewhere in the region. Indonesian Defence Minister and presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto has cemented his lead in the polls after candidates took part in televised debates ahead of the looming February 14th election. A poll released by Indikator Politik Indonesia on Tuesday showed that Prabowo, who is running with President Joko Widodo's 36-year-old son Gibran Rakabuming Raka, would secure 46.7% of the vote. Indikator placed former Central Java Governor Ganjar Pranowo as his closest opponent with 24.5% of the vote, while former Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan and the support of 21% of those polled. Meanwhile, a poll by Kompas gave Prabowo 39.3% of the vote and placed Anies as his closest opponent with 16.7%, followed by Ganjar at 15.3%. 3 more debates are expected before the election. Authorities in France on Tuesday have arrested a man suspected of murdering a mother and her 4 children who were found dead in their home on Christmas Day. According to officials, the main suspect had been detained in the nearby town of Sevran after the bodies of 5 people were found in an apartment in the town of Meaux to the east of Paris. They added that the flat showed no sign of breaking and entering, and that the father was absent. A source close to the case said the 35-year-old mother and her children were killed with a cold weapon, a term usually used to refer to a knife. The Versailles Judicial Police Service have opened an inquiry into premeditated murder. The Paris region has recently seen a series of infanticides, one in November and another in October, where fathers were found to have killed their children. China take revenge on Harimau Malaya. Sports after this breather.
어떻게 됐어? 네가 지금 뭐 타이밍이 아닌 것 같은데.
Seronoknya layan oval sampai pagi.
보고? 개판이네!
팀은 가속도와 질량이 비례한다.
조문했던 걔네들 왔다 가고 그랬잖아.
Mak turun aplikasi tonton, semua favourite anda ada di sini.
나랑 헤어지고 싶습니까?
내가 감당할 수 있는 남자가 맞나 하는 생각. 우리 진짜 헤어집니까?
우리 안 헤어져.
Senyum cari aku yang pun
Descendants of the Sun setiap Selasa hingga Khamis 11 malam. Shotnya berke-drama di Cam Sarang TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kerana kuasa, nyawanya dipertaruhkan.
सेनापति शिवरत पहुंचे नहीं है या मेरे प्रिय भाई सुषम ने पहुंचने नहीं दी?
ये हो सकता।
इस सिंहासन में मैं बैठूंगा।
Dan kerana cinta, prinsipnya tercabar.
जैसे तुम्हारा ही अंग। क्योंकि युद्ध रणभूमि में लड़े जाते हैं परंतु जीते।
Asuka, Sabtu 30 Disember 2 petang. Di panggung Sabtu TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports football. The national under-23 squad failed to repeat their form in the second friendly match against China when they went down 1-2 on Wednesday. Du Yusheng opened the scoring in the 4th minute for China with header. Juan Torres Garrido's boys were not deterred by the early setback and fought back to level the score in the 34th minute through Muhammad Alif Izwan. Alif, however, went from 0 to 0 after he was sent off only 4 minutes later after picking up a second yellow card. Tao Qianglong scored from a free kick from the edge of the box during added time in the first half, which would be enough for them to secure the win. China piled on the pressure in the second half, but were denied additional goals thanks to a heroic display from goalkeeper Rahadiazli Rahalim, which included saving a dangerous effort from Qianglong in the 72nd. The national under-23 squad had earlier on Saturday edged China 1-0 at the same venue thanks to Harith Haikal Adam Afkar. The Young Tigers have been drawn in Group D for the Asian Cup and will open their campaign against Uzbekistan on April 17, 2024. After this short breather, vehicles worth over 10 million ringgit seized.
Jangan pandang ringan dan mudah. Anggap batuk awak ini serius. Woods ubat batuk dengan rasa pudina. Memberi sensasi kelegaan di kerongkong. Berkesan melegakan batuk. Woods, ubat batuk yang saya percaya.
Fahrin, kalau kenduri kahwin dulu-dulu, apa yang awak ingat?
Rewang, pelamin yang cantik, bunga mangga, macam-macam lagi lah.
Kalau labu pula awak suka masak apa?
Masak lemak labu, kuih koci labu dan macam-macam lagi.
Serapnya. Tapi bahaya juga kan kalau terlalu baran ni.
Betul, boleh bau padah pada diri sendiri dan juga orang lain.
Rasa macam sesak nafas lah, Fahrin.
Yana, jangan buat main-main. Cepat-cepat pergi jumpa doktor.
Apa yang telah berlaku sepanjang 2023 ni?
Dan kami bawakan rangkuman 2023.
Semuanya di Wanita Hari Ini di TV3.
Dan stream secara HD di Tonton.
Get ready, ladies. It's time to shatter the stereotype. talk career, health, finance, relationships, and everything in between. So grab your coffee cups and wear your sassiest smiles. This talk show is all about you. Because your voice matters in Women Talk every Saturday at 5 p.m. live stream in HD on Tonton and only on TV3.
Welcome back. The Customs Department has seized a total of 68 vehicles of various models which did not have approved permits, APs, with a value of 13.8 million ringgit, including unpaid duties. Its Deputy Director General for Enforcement and Compliance, Datuk Sazali Muhammad, said the vehicles comprising 46 cars and 22 motorcycles were seized through Op Kitai, held around Port Klang, Selangor between August 9th and 24th.
Pengimportan kenderaan dan motosikal adalah tertaluk kepada permit import yang dikeluarkan oleh Kementerian Perdagangan Antarabangsa dan Industri, MITI, sebagaimana yang telah digariskan dalam Perintah Kastam Larangan mengenai import 2023.
Speaking at a media conference, Sazali added that the seized vehicles were mostly brought into the country from Japan. These vehicles were estimated to be worth 5.2 million ringgit, with total unpaid duties amounting to approximately 8.6 million ringgit. The department also seized 10 vehicles of various models during an integrated operation on December 14th, estimated to be worth over 300,000 ringgit, with unpaid duties valued at 626,000 ringgit. The vehicles were discovered inside an abandoned building to avoid detection by authorities. Sean Stanley Anthony Das is a man on a mission. A science teacher at a rural school in Perak, Sean set out to provide his students with an experience of flying in an aeroplane, all from the comforts of their classroom. Here's how he achieved this remarkable feat. FMT's Danish Raja Reza has the story.
How do you get from Penang to Sabah? The answer might seem obvious to most, but this simple question was the start of a project for Sean Stanley Anthony Das to give his students a taste of flying on an aeroplane. Sean's light bulb moment led to him building a flight simulator in his classroom at Sekolah Kebangsaan RPS Banun in Perak, located an hour away from Gerik Town. But beyond that, the project opened a path for Sean to adopt a creative teaching approach, particularly beneficial for his students, many of whom struggle with literacy.
Apa tu? Is. Okay. So imagine this, going to a class where 2 out of 80 students are literate. You can read basic words, though they may not comprehend it, but they have like basic reading and writing abilities, but the majority of them don't. So how then do you teach the textbooks or contents from the textbooks to a class which cannot even read?
To build his flight simulator, Sean, who teaches science, roped in his students.
Me and a few students, the secondary boys, we went into like the forest, chop off some bamboos to make the foundations for the base of the aircraft. And I went around school collecting unused boxes from like teachers.
In just a few days, the typical science classroom was transformed into the cockpit and fuselage of the school's new airline, Air Banun. With the help of a projector and by creatively rearranging the classroom chairs, Sean was able to take his students on a virtual journey to distant lands, from the pyramids of Egypt to the volcanic mountains of Indonesia.
It makes me think that in a classroom, a lot of things can actually happen. Like we can bring, like as educators, though some realities may be distant for our children, we can bring these realities to children in our classroom.
He hopes that these initiatives will debunk myths about the abilities of Orang Asli children and, more importantly, inspire them to take their community to new heights.
And I hope that one day, no matter whatever whatever profession my students may be in, they will also be going on to be an inspiration to others and do good as well.
Danish Raja Reza, FMP for Nightline.
Nightline draws to a close this time around. Let's take a look at 23 luxury cars that had been confiscated from crime organizations by Turkish police were turned into traffic police vehicles. The confiscated vehicles, which include a Bentley, a Porsche and a Volvo, were painted white and blue with traffic police written on them as they were put on display in Istanbul. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching Nightline and be well, Malaysia.